Hello, this is Dr. Dave Maslach talking to you about reciprocity.com. The E is written with a 3, and in this particular video, what I'm going to talk to you about is what is the best daily morning routine for a writer? I'm going to talk to you about my daily routine as a writer and why it actually is an effective way. And this is not just for writers in general. This is sort of people in general, but this is the way that I sort of view myself, and I view myself as a scientist. I'm a professor of innovation strategy and entrepreneurship, and these two things, it's a really simple trick, simple tip that I am going to tell you. These two things really improved my own life, and they were really pretty helpful, and they're pretty simple, and I think anybody can actually do these two tips, right? So the first one is to think of one to three things that you are grateful for. Either maybe it's on your commute to work. You just sit down and think of these kind of one to three things that you are grateful for and have some sort of gratitude. As well as maybe you can, and if you want to take it one step further, you just write that down wherever you are, whenever you are there. And it really kind of helps you frame your perspective. The sort of issue of gratitude actually has a sort of some psychological basis behind it. And I actually learned this from the Tim Ferriss podcast. And I believe that there's a couple of researchers out there. I heard it on the Freakonomics podcast where the people actually are doing research in this area. I don't know, I couldn't remember who they were. But basically, it gets you to frame your decisions, gets you to frame your life, to think about all the things that you're grateful for. So things that are really simple that will change the way that you sort of think about things, like air, for example. I mean, that's really cool. Having a table in front of you, that is a luxury for most people. They don't realize that is a luxury. Having lighting, for example, that's a luxury that we live in. And that a lot of us have, some of us don't. Having a computer in front of us is a luxury. All of these kind of things, even having this ring is a luxury of some degree, right? So I'm married, I'm happily married, all that kind of stuff. I was fortunate enough to be able to afford that particular ring. So if you start thinking about all these things, you start having instead of feeling really grumpy and miserable, because writing tends to make you grumpy and miserable because it sort of puts a lot of cognitive strain on your brain a lot, so you get exhausted, which makes you kind of feel yucky. But if you have this sort of gratitude framework, it often sort of gets you started and gets you going without the day. Instead of thinking of this as a chore, you start thinking, this is not too bad. This is actually kind of good. It's a really fun experiment to try that. And it's a struggle to continuously writing these or doing these particular things. It's a lifelong journey. But whenever I do these sort of gratitude exercises, it does really help me out. So one of them is actually doing these YouTube videos that I can actually help other people out. And virtually who watches them, I don't know. But if any watches them, they'll see that I'm absolutely grateful for the world around me and being able to do this. And it's a really fun, kind of cool experience to be able to do this. 5 years ago, I could not be able to do this. There's no way. Even a year ago, a couple of years ago, I wouldn't be able to do this just psychologically. I just wasn't ready for it. As well as, just the infrastructure wasn't there. Now I have the infrastructure, and what a cool thing to be able to do that, right? Like, wonderful, wonderful thing. And thank you if you're actually watching this, by the way. I don't know who's watching it, but it's really wonderful that you are following along and watching this kind of stuff. The second thing that you should do, and this really, every time I don't do this, I feel a lot different, or if I just shift the time of when I do this, I feel a lot different. Just get some exercise, however that is, even if it's a 10-minute walk, even a 15-minute walk. I find any sort of exercise, just moving, really gets you feeling so much better for the rest of the day. And that has a huge impact on your life. From what I understand, that there is actually a substantial amount of research that shows this repeatedly over and over and over again. Just get 15 minutes of exercise is going to make you feel so wonderful. And often it's hard for us to do that, but if you can do that, it makes a big difference on how you feel how productive you are. Maybe not on how productive you are. That's kind of mixed from what I understand or how I view it, but definitely how you feel when you're doing things. You feel a lot better, and it's just a much different experience. So it keeps you motivated to go forward. So those are the two things in terms of my daily routine that I try to do, and I think it's a really good daily routine, morning routine for any writer that's out there that's interested in doing this. Just doing these two things in your morning routine. Think of 1 to 3 things that you're really grateful for, and get some exercise. Just get out there and get some exercise. That's going to make a difference on how you feel. Whatever it is, just do it. Just try it. I know you're going to feel like, I should be doing this instead. Just try it and see how you feel. Just try it for, try it for 2 weeks and see what happens. And if you don't like it, then just stop. If you do like it, make sure you do leave a comment and see and tell other people that you've tried it and try these two things and see what happens to your own outlook in life. And it really is these two things do change you. And if you keep it up for a long time, it does change you. It makes you feel really awesome. So that's it. Try out these daily morning routine sort of tips and tricks and let me know how it goes. All right, take care. Have a wonderful day. Bye.